So here we have two MRG-B2000s. Now just before I show you them, once again, I want to show you this MRG part in the Carnaby Street boutique. And I love coming here, well, because I like the MRG pieces, but I love the display and the information that is available about the manufacture and the design aesthetic of MRG. Now, of course, look at, you're going to notice my favorites here, the MRG squares. And but I'll just quickly show you the display showing you examples of the manufacturing process that G-Shock used. And I can tell you that the tolerances, the machining tolerances on these parts must be insane. The technology involved in the manufacturing must be something, it must be the effort and cost that MRG put into it. And apparently they have their own, of course, they have a workshop for these MRG pieces. And they really do put so much time and effort into the latest technology to produce the latest technology and to create these pieces. Look at those samurai swords, aren't they cool? And of course we've got the MRG, the B210 piece here. Now I will come to this in a moment because it's one that I really like myself. And we've got, oh, look at those. I would be here all day. I won't get a chance to look at all of them. Okay, so let's go back to the B2000. Now, I received a comment from someone, and he said to me something along the lines of, why don't I have this MRG? And I thought to myself, I don't have a good answer off the top of my head, because this is a true MRG, because this was specifically designed to be a watch all by itself. So Casio haven't done an MRG version of another watch. This is an MRG version of itself. And I thought, you are correct, mister. Why haven't I got this watch? It's because after that comment, I went onto the website and I looked through the MRG pieces. And I thought to myself, actually, this is really, really nice. And I sort of like the fact that you can see there's not a button there in the top left corner, but it sort of matches the whole thing about MRG, Casio G-Shocks, that its form and function, its design and function, always together. So even though they've got these fabulous designs over something that has function, they've managed to marry the two together, so lovely at that time, but also to create such high levels of visual interest. Now, because this might be the very first time I've put this watch in my hand, I am thinking to myself, gosh, why don't I have one of these? Because I do wear analog watches. I mean, I wear all sorts of watches, and I know that I would wear this. This would be a daily wearer for me, and because of its high-grade titanium, the weight of it is it's not as heavy as it might look, because it is a large watch. But for someone like me, being large, being the size it is absolutely perfect. And you can see there on with my grey top, how cool does that look? I'm such a fashion victim, aren't I? Now, I think this is their base model of the B2000s, and I knew I was going to like it. I really was. But it made me think that the comment that guy left, I'm assuming it was a guy, I now understand why he said what he said, because I am thinking to myself, why don't I have this? Why don't I have a B2000? Isn't it nice? Isn't that lovely? That is really nice. Okay, so the one next to it is their very latest, and I think this might even be one of the most expensive G-Shocks that they've released. Now, when I say that, not the most expensive, because G-Shock have released watches, you know, in the outer stratosphere, and I don't know the material name offhand, but actually this does feel like the price tag it has. So if you go to the website and look at the latest releases of MRGs, you're going to recognize this. And once again, I've said a number of times, these watches, even though they look nice, they look good on video, in their hand, they always present you with something more. There's always more to them. Now, it's slightly heavier than the whole titanium version here, and I think it's because they've used an exotic material. I'm not even going to, because I've forgotten what material that is, but it looks fabulous. I do apologise. It'll probably be in the title, and it's because I'm on camera. I've forgotten what it's called, but I don't want that to take me away from the video, because in a minute I will have to leave actually. Anyway, look at that. And I love the way that the lock button there is G-Shock always match. They always have this colour matching. So all the bits and pieces that you see, everything with visual interest, it's all colour matched. The screws, the buttons, the crowns, but detailing on the dial, for example, it always matches, you know, things like that on the buckle. Now this is lovely. It really is. So I can totally see now why, if you started collecting the B2000, you would fall down a very deep hole of collecting these pieces. These really are very nice. Gosh, I do like. Yeah, I'm worried that if I got this one, I'd want this one, and then you start being petrified about your bank account. But anyway, that's a nice problem to have, I suppose. But aren't they lovely? They really are. Yeah, I've got to thank that guy that left me that comment, because I do agree with him. Why don't I have this piece? Why don't I? I do not know. Because this really would be a piece in your collection that would, I mean, if you're a G-Shock fan or an MRG G-Shock fan, this is going to be something very special. And the thing is, because this is the first time I'm holding this watch, I know straight off that I would wear this often. This would be a go-to watch that I wear all the time. It would be a daily wearer, as people say. And knowing me, you know, this would be a daily wearer as well. The absolute top flight watch. There is something, when you hold this black one, G-Shock have done something very cool here, because it feels that there's a weight difference, and so I'm just wondering what's creating that weight difference. It'll be the exotic materials that they've used to build this latest release. The colourway is delightful. Yeah, I am so pleased that I've seen the B2000 today and this new release, because I am very impressed. Aren't they super? So here we have the MRG-B2100, but the DLC version. Now, Carnaby Street only had the silver version, and that has been sold. So they don't have another silver version. And I was really hoping to have that one. But I knew that they might have the B5000R. And I thought to myself, actually, it's probably better that they have the black DLC version of the 2100, because I was actually thinking which one of these watches do I want myself, because I was holding out for the silver version of this. It's not because I prefer it I prefer it over this black one, because I'd actually like both. But for my collection and what I can and can't do, it was the silver one that I was heading over towards. Now, the reason that I'm holding this, the B5000R, is because I have the same dilemma. Every time I hold it, I think I really do want this rubber strap MRG square, because even though I do like bracelets, and maybe the bracelet is my favorite, there is something about this rubber strap that is so special as well. And because it's on this deployant buckle like this, I know it's going to be so wearable. Now, Casio G-Shock have recently announced that they are going to re-release the very first square, the DW5000, I think is the part number. So it's the watch that is the reason that this one exists. Now, because that square, and the price point is much less than MRG, because it really is a new materials, a new technology of something that was made 40 years ago. But I was looking at that thinking, I'm definitely going to buy that because it's the price point is much more accessible than the MRG. And it has that rubber bracelet, which is the bit that I was sort of wanting in my collection. But then I thought, hang on a second, I've been lusting after the B5000R for so long now. Why don't I pull the trigger and get the B5000 and get this over the DW5000, the re-release? Because one of the features that I'm a big fan of is the fact that it's Bluetooth and solar powered, because the Bluetooth enables it to synchronize and keep perfect time always. So when I'm traveling and going through borders and different countries, the time change is automatically integrated and transmitted to this watch. So as you get off the aeroplane, the MRGs with the Bluetooth connection, they're already always synchronized to the local time. So that's something that for me has a lot of function. And as I hold it on my wrist like that, it's making me think, why on this planet do I not have this watch? Because I would wear it all the time. So that's why it's in my hand, because both of these watches are creating me nothing but trouble, because I want both of them. I really do. And because I tell everyone to save up and to only get the watch that your heart really wants. I'm taking my own medicine, I'm saving up, and I'm trying to get the watch that I only want. Now, it's very easy to want all these watches. You find yourself in a pickle, and because this is the black one, and then this is black DLC, this is black DLC, I thought today that not having the silver one here is fine, because the black one is here. Because then I was thinking, hold on, if you were to have only a 2-watch collection, imagine having this and the silver version of this, or these two, exactly these two, and these two were your collection. Especially if this was silver, they would scratch all the itches you could think of, because you've got an analog watch that does everything and looks great with a suit or casual, and then you've got your G-Shock Square that absolutely does everything in terms of looking cool and utility. And I thought, wow, what a great thing to have. Aren't they so nice? They really are. Look at that. I don't know what to say. I think if you're thinking about these, I know they're expensive. In the hand like this, they are definitely exquisite, and when they're in the hand, you realize why they cost so much money. And it's because of how they feel, how they're made, the engineering that goes in, the fit and finish of the materials, and also the technology. And this is solar powered, It's got less functions than the digital square here, but it's got absolutely everything that you need as a daily wearer. And of course, titanium, all the titanium used on MRG, they're always a high grade of titanium, and they're always hardened further than normal titanium. So you are getting something that's very technology rich and technical material spec, very high end. And they really are desirable watches. And once again, I've got that horrible feeling of, I want both. What a disaster. Every time I come here, I walk out thinking, oh gosh, I want both those watches. Every time. I mean, it's delightful holding them, but when you're constantly wanting the things, what a nuisance. Anyway, there you go, B5000R and MRG-B2100. This is, you're at the very top here.